Look at us, all black.
Oh, boy.
Look at us.
Let me go change my shirt.
Nah, man, we look like a bunch of Johnny Cashes. Different stages of his life. I think I'm towards the end when he got cut open by an ostrich. Welcome back to Football with Ben Roethlisberger. My name is Spence, and I am joined here, as always, with two-time Super Bowl champion Ben Roethlisberger. There he is right there. Oh, man, looked like he came in on a horse. That's what he looked like right there. My man.
I'm about to leave on a horse.
Right. We are missing Jared Lopes today. His speaking schedule is very busy, right? Couldn't make it today. But, Ben, you had promised the people, you're a man of your word. Today is a special episode. Why so?
Not just because I have this cowboy hat on.
You look right.
Or this pearl snap button down.
Come on now.
Cowboy hat, like I'm from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go riding after this with my daughter. But I decided to wear this because of our special guest, which I know you guys are all watching this, so you see in the description who it is. But it still makes it more fun when I give him a little bit of love. We have from Texas himself, even though he just told us that he's never owned cowboy boots or a cowboy hat. So I don't know if he's really from Texas. Might be, I'm going to have to figure this one out. But the specialist of specialists,
come on,
our kicker, Chris Boswell.
There he is.
We were going to get him into hair and makeup, and he doesn't have hair and need makeup, so we're good.
Don't need any of it.
Right there he is, the wizard of
Bos. Welcome,
Bos.
How are you?
Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you for having me.
I know I'd like to start this off with an apology to Christian and Cam because you've dodged their podcast for a long time.
Yep.
Done mine first. I just think it shows, that you just have a lot of love for me. I appreciate us because us quarterback and us specialists have to stick together.
Yeah.
We're both affected by the wind. We both have to deal with Danny Smith.
Yep.
first thing.
We have to deal with the elements. We're the only people in the football game that deals with the elements.
Is Danny Smith
100%.
an element?
Danny Smith is no.
He's his own element.
That's true. That's true.
Completely separate.
Hey, this last game, by the way, we were talking about because we always talk about the special teams. I think right now are y'all are the game changers. Like you guys have the best special teams in the game right now and all the NFL teams. So we're like, how's Danny Smith going to affect this game? Because we obviously, it's always Danny. It's not, no offense, it's never you guys.
No, it's always a great call.
Until it's a bad call. Then it's always Danny's
And then it's his fault.
He threw a bad pass this week, Danny. But anyway, I think it was the first punt. Didn't the guy take it off the face mask? The first one, he did it twice in a row.
Yeah.
But the first one he took off, we said Danny must have blown on the balls. It was coming down or something. Danny did something, but no. Anyway, we had to give Danny his props. But so we have special connections.
Yeah,
the two of us.
I get that.
And so it's great to have you on the show. We're very thankful. We finally got this. Took 2 years.
Yeah, it's been
convincing.
A long time coming.
And I would like to say this, Bos, and we're going to get into this because you are a golfer, kind of getting into it a little bit more, and been a little more passionate about it. We've been on the course together. You like to hit the ball right a little bit. A little bit of a banana.
Yeah, okay. All right.
That's okay. I'm not going to talk about your golf game. I told you I wouldn't talk about your scores.
So you like to do it as if he's trying. Yeah, I like to slice it too, man. That's my favorite thing to do.
No, Bos is actually a much better golfer than I had anticipated. I'm going to be honest. Sorry. When we went out, I wasn't sure what to expect. But I know he's a good athlete.
Yeah.
But you're a much better golfer.
Golf is a different world.
It is.
No matter how athletic you are, does not translate to golf.
Amen. Amen.
Well, there's hope for me then. Praise him.
But I have to say, since he's in the golf world, and there's a specific course in this country that you're not really supposed to talk about going to play.
Oh, Fight Club course.
We can't talk about it. I think if you can figure out what course that is, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. I was supposed to be there yesterday and today.
Where?
And I chose Bos over that place.
That was the worst decision you could have made.
No, that shows how much the millions of fans watching mean to me and how much Bos means to me. That he said he was going to come on this show, and I'm like, I'm changing everything. I'm changing all plans.
That's
Bos.
a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
So you going tomorrow?
Nope. I wish.
That's a big deal,
I
brother.
wish. But no, we're excited to have you here, buddy. We really are. This is going to be a fun episode. We're going to get into, we're going to go around the league a little bit. We'll still do our family dinner.
Yep.
We're going to talk about a little golf. We're going to talk about what it is to be a kicker. We're going to get into the mind of a kicker.
Yes. I would say the mind of the kicker.
The kicker.
The kicker.
A kicker.
No, the kicker, Bos. Don't you don't say that.
Well, he can sell himself short. We will not.
We will not.
Yes, we have the
hype you all
stats,
the time
Bos.
on
We
this.
have the stats to prove it. All right. So the way this show goes, if you've never seen it, Bos, is we sample a couple beers throughout it. We're going to start off the show by sampling one that was sent in from one of the millions of people watching.
Millions. We had people watching this last live stream from Japan. We had to look one country up. What was the one we had to look up?
I don't know. That's
Wasn't
why I had
Monaco.
to look it up. I didn't.
We had to look up a country, and it was over like by Italy, kind of.
It was like, yeah, like,
People all over the world
Wow.
watching. Yeah.
watching.
forgot
Well,
they said.
watching. They were syncing up the game to watch your reaction to
Bos
your
kicking.
field goals. Yeah,
To your
so
extra points. Not even feel. You didn't even do
Yeah.
anything this
Yeah.
week. Like you really didn't do anything this week.
No,
You
4
kicked
PATs. That's
1
it.
point. 1
Yeah.
point. Well, I mean, what's wrong with you? Only 4 points this week? It's been like that a
It was
little
a
bit
light
last
week.
recently, hasn't it? Have you kicked many field goals recently?
So my brother sent me a text that says it's the first time in 60 games that I have not attempted a field goal.
Really?
wow.
Yeah,
Wow. How's that make you feel?
it was a nice day.
Yeah.
We
Would
won.
you rather? Well, yeah, we won. Would you rather go into a game where it's like we rely on you to kick 5 field goals, or do you like go in there and be like, I'll just kick a couple extra points?
I honestly don't care.
Don't care.
You know,
As long as you win.
I'll take 4 PATs and a win.
There you go.
That's our guy.
Spoken like a true
That's
champion.
our guy.
So this
All right.
one was sent in. You'll notice when you drink it that it's not ice cold because we just threw it in the fridge like an hour before you got here.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's
so-
on me.
This was sent in by Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth has been an avid watcher of the podcast. So thank you so much, Elizabeth,
Elizabeth.
for tuning in. She said she grew up in a tiny town just right outside of New York and PA line, right? It's kind of in the middle of Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. Okay. So she had, throughout her life experience, had kind of like this rivalry of the teams of the Bills, the Browns, and of course the Steelers. She said when she was living in Virginia,
Good.
she found a brewery called Fair Winds Brewing Company. And it was just the best. So that's where these are from, Fair Winds Brewing Company. This is called John the Fisherman IPA.
John the Fisherman.
Yes. So she sent this in. And actually the second one we're going to do is from her as well.
Oh, nice.
A little variety
Special.
pack.
This is an Elizabeth special show.
Right. And so she wanted to send these in because one of the bartenders was a Ravens fan.
Mm.
I thought that was fitting for this week that
This tastes like trash.
already hate it. Yes. But she also said that she hand delivered this package to Creekside, our good friends
Oh,
over there.
thank you.
So if I spilt it, it's 100% my fault. Elizabeth, I'll just let you know they're all 100% my fault. I just look for someone to blame. All right. Not only that, the last thing I'll say about Elizabeth is that she noticed that a couple times we'd mentioned Taylor Swift on this show as she
Swifties?
shows up on the NFL broadcast, and she's a huge Swiftie. And wants to make us some friendship bracelets, which is the thing that
Is that a
happens.
Swiftie thing?
At Swift,
You're a Swiftie guy.
Sure.
Did you go to the Eras tour? Did you see that? No. Okay. Phenomenal. Oh yeah, I got no shame.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, my family went. I just didn't go.
The greatest live performance I've ever seen. I mean, I didn't know. I knew like 7 songs, and they were all from 2004. But the production was awesome.
Yeah, I heard
Needless to
it's
say, this is the John the Fisherman IPA. This is a West Coast style Indian Pale Ale. It's 6.3% alcohol by volume. Now, Boz, if I'm correct, you're not a beer guy. Don't enjoy it.
No.
No.
Which makes this all
So
the much better.
Godspeed. All right. So
Yes.
this is a self-proclaimed alchemist. He can teach you how we sample it, kind of like a wine tasting, right?
Sniff it and then
Yeah. Just do the whole thing.
I mean,
So-
I do. You don't have to.
I mean,
You can just take a little sip and spit it out. Just try not to spit it all on me.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's unfortunate. If this was ice cold, it'd be really, really, really good. It still is good.
That is good.
It still is really good. But
What do you think, Boz?
it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
wow, that's actually
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
That's good. I don't even know how cold this is or warm it is, but I really enjoy that. Look, Boz, look at that guy. Not a beer guy. Yeah, big
good.
fan of that, man.
Really good.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so
thank
much.
you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to do. But speaking of growing up, who was your fan? Who did you grow up watching? What was your team? You're from Texas. Okay, we established you're from Texas, but you're not really. 'Cause you don't have a cowboy hat or cowboy boots.
I didn't grow up an NFL fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, my brother was a Cowboys fan growing up, so I think I just rooted for anybody against the Cowboys.
Oh, see, that's how I am
You
with
know,
the Ohio
just
teams.
sibling rivalry.
I get it.
Yep.
So were you college? Were you like Longhorns?
Yeah,
A&M,
I think we grew up UT fans for sure.
Okay.
Just being in Texas. TC was closer, but back then they
No
weren't
one wants
really.
to like TC.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
So yeah.
When did you end up like diving into the NFL? Was it college or
When
what
I got
age?
into the NFL.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
that's what you
So
gotta
what
do.
was the sport Texas, it's famous for their sports, right? I remember going to a Texas high school football game one time, actually right outside of Houston, and it was in a full stadium. It was like very serious. Was football in high school something, or was just not football at all? Is it just NFL? Not like, were you in the soccer? Like, what was the sport that you watched growing up?
So I have to shout out my dad.
Yeah.
He's
That's
the
a
one
good shout
who forced me to play every sport growing up. And so when it came time for high school, he's like, try out for the football team or don't come home. So
he is a Texan. He is a Texan.
so I mean, I played baseball, soccer, basketball, and football. And I grew up playing soccer since I was 3. So, I mean, I was like, all right, I'll try out for football and take the easy way and just be a kicker.
So you never played anything else? Just you kicked?
No.
Because you can run pretty good. You could have been like a little receiver. Yeah. So was football in high school where you went? Was it Friday Night Lights? Like it was like it was bleed it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Town shut down. Was it big town? Where'd you grow up? Big town or small town?
Fort Worth. Yeah, it's a big town.
Oh, so big. Not like you weren't like one of them little Odessas or one of them little.
No, it's right next to. You probably heard of South Lake Carroll.
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes from there, so not small town at all.
Okay. So he said, "My dad made don't come home."
Yeah.
That's Texas.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so then I was the only one. You know, when you're a freshman, you kind of go into the room and you stand up, say your name, what position you want to play. Stood up, said my name, and I want to be a kicker, and I got absolutely laughed at.
I was going to say, please say you said kicker.
Yeah, said kicker, and got laughed at, and the rest was, history.
So I'm not sure you can tell, Bos never played the sport. Do you just, in high school, you end up a kicker then? You're like, hey, man, I really want to be a receiver. Like, sorry, bud, hands is trash.
No,
Go ahead.
I didn't want to put any effort into it because football wasn't my thing. I didn't grow up football. My brother did. I just didn't have a care for it. So I just went out for the tryouts that week and just started kicking, and I was on JV week 1. And then one of my buddies that I grew up playing soccer with, he was the varsity kicker, and he ended up quitting to go full-time soccer. And then so by week 2, I was up on varsity.
Yeah, that's usually I would say the kicker that we had in high school ended up going to Ohio State. He was a really good kicker, all-state kicker. I was his holder, might have been why.
That's it.
But he was a soccer player too. But like everyone, like same sort of thing where like he was going to go to college to play football, and like he was a really good like kicker. So it was like it's just a matter of like But I think a lot of people. I shouldn't say this. This is me totally stereotyping kickers. I think I wouldn't say that you people like get put into the kicker like they're like a receiver or something that doesn't make it. I think sometimes you find a guy like that. Like you'll find a lineman that just can tow the ball really far.
Yeah.
So. But I think you find that like a team is looking like we need a kicker, and they always poach like soccer players or something, right?
Sure.
Like, let's go find this guy or someone. But most people don't stand up and admit they want to be a kicker.
Yeah. All the kickers we had were soccer players, but then nowadays, those kids are going to these kicking camps at 8, 9, 10 years old, and they're just kicker from when they grow up.
Well, isn't the kicker for the Cowboys? He was he played professional soccer, right? And he just came to the league last year.
This is his second year.
Yeah,
and he's just smashing football.
Is he still doing well? I know he did last year. Did really well.
Yeah, no, he's doing well. They ran out for a 65-yarder halfway through the first quarter.
Jeez.
That's not something you do.
That's not something you do. That's like an end of the half.
Come on,
the game
Danny.
Type
no,
kick.
we want Bos kicking 60+ yarders, Danny.
Come on, Danny.
What are we doing?
Yeah, that's a Danny call.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny's too busy chomping on gum.
Did you see? That's true. Did you see? It had been a couple weeks ago now. I think it was Arizona State. Special teams coach would just put an open call out to kickers. Like I guess
the head coach did. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, listen, this is trash.
Yeah.
We're just finding some. If you can kick it, you go to Arizona State. Come try.
Did they find someone?
I didn't follow up on that. What do you think about that?
That's awesome.
Risky business, or like what are you going to do?
Awesome. That speaks a lot to what they have on that roster, or the confidence they have in that roster, just to kind of have an open tryout. How many scholarship kickers do you have? 1, maybe 2 for every couple years?
But here's the thing, too, I'd say, is that you can, where that can, I say backfire on you, but where it can get tricky, right, is you could pull someone, a student, right? He opened it to anybody.
Yeah.
There might have been a kid that kicked in high school that was a halfway decent kicker, but has no business playing Division I football. But he can kick extra points left and right? Like I can hit 9 or 10 out of 10 extra points, because extra points are still short in college. Yeah. Okay? But there's something different between going out and kicking during a quote-unquote tryout or during a practice, right, where it's just you, coach, and a couple people watching, and kicking on Saturday night, prime time, against Arizona or whoever you're playing, And there's okay, I'm going to take it one step further. Trying out between kicking during a game. Okay, we just went down the field in the opening drive. We scored a touchdown. Go kick the extra point. There's a little bit of pressure there. Now go kick it at the end of the half. A little more pressure to do something. Now take it to the end of the game when that point matters, or that you're tied, or you're down one, or you're okay. I'm gonna finish this thing first. There's another level of pressure, right? It's all so yeah. You can go ask a kid to kick field goals when no one watching, but you have to go out there. The game on the line. Did you see the game this weekend? The Hail Mary. The team in college threw like a 70-yard Hail Mary, I believe, to either tie it or to get within one, and they missed the extra point.
Really?
That would have tied the game. Yeah, I think they lost by one. So they throw a Hail Mary, a 70-something yard Hail Mary. I wish I remember who it was.
I think it was at Louisiana Tech or something, right?
Some kind of craziness happened where they throw a huge Hail Mary, they get within the extra point to tie it to go to overtime, and the kid misses the extra point. So there's a different, you can speak to that. There's a different level of pressure when it comes to kicking on Tuesday, for instance, or Wednesday, whenever you guys practice, to kicking on Sundays.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Texas Tech a while back have a kid from the stands who ended up being their short, because in college you have like long field goal kickers and short field goal kickers.
Oh, you can
and I think Texas Tech had a kid from the stands back probably when I was in college.
Really?
And he kicked for like 2 or 3 years, and he was like 45 and in or something like that. He's a good kicker.
Would you rather be, if you were doing a 2-person system, like I hate it, as a quarterback, I remember teams did that as quarterbacks, like Ohio State did that at one point. We had a thrower and a runner. Would you, if you were on a 2-way system, would you rather be the short, accurate guy or the long guy?
The long guy.
The long ball. He the long ball. He likes to tee it up all. Let it fly.
How bad do you have to struggle to be the long guy who can kick 55-yarders or 60-yarders, but then not make the short ones?
That's a good point.
I feel like if you can make the long ones, you can make the short ones.
Why have 2 dudes then?
Yeah.
Is it just like
I don't understand that. Yeah.
So that game you were talking about in college was Jacksonville State against Louisiana Tech.
Yep.
So Jacksonville,
crazy. Crazy. But that just talks about the pressure of it. It's just it's not just go out and kick the ball.
So, and you've mentioned this a couple of times when I'm talking about like the quarterback position, is that anyone can throw the ball. Now that's not true, especially when it's at the NFL level. But you're talking about, or you've mentioned before, where it gets tricky is the mentals of it. And I can only imagine that the mentals of kicking is either on par with quarterback play as far as concentration. I know you probably have a lot more stuff running through your mind, but as far 100%. As concentration, is that the differentiating factor, between a good kicker and a great kicker? Their mental game?
Yeah, 100%. It's just like you said, anybody can go out and kick, put the sticks down on your own, go 20 for 20, and no one's watching, nobody cares. And then, coming in just to a practice setting, when I came into the Steelers for my first practice and I had the whole team around me and Deebo standing over Barry's back, just
standing breathing. Yeah, it is.
It was intimidating.
Well, we would be laughing, but they were laughing.
Yeah. It was my, kind of welcome to the team moment. And it just changes. Like, kicking on your own doesn't even come close or compare to the, quote, like, pressure of a kick. The ball don't change, the field goal don't change, nothing changes about it. It's just kind of, it's more you put on yourself type of pressure. The more I have learned to kind of distance myself, like most time in games, I'm paying attention, but I'm not paying attention. Because when you get caught up into the game and all the pressure and all the situations and what happens if then you're just caught up in the game. And I kind of just take a step back, kicking's kicking at the end of the day. And
smart.
I try to tell myself I'm on the field by myself kicking, but obviously you're not on the field by yourself kicking in the middle of a field.
I've never done it, but I would guess too that there's a difference between there's a pressure in being a quarterback. Okay, if you've got like your 2-minute drive where you have 1 play left in the game, right? Say you're on the 2-yard line and you've got there's 1 second left. It's the last play of the game. You have to react so much, right? So you can prepare and say, okay, here's our play call. Okay, you call the play, you break it. Now you got to see the defense. You got to make an audible. There's a lot going on. Where I think being a kicker would be a lot harder is that you're going to walk out there and everyone's lining up and you're taking your steps, you're doing your thing, and there's like you actually have time to think. Like you could probably get in your own head as a kicker, I would think. As a quarterback, you don't have almost time to think about it. You have to react a lot.
Sure.
As a kicker, you're standing there for like you do your little thing, you walk, and the holder's like looking at you. He's got his hand down. He's looking. You're like, you have to give him a little thing. But like you have time to sit there and be like, okay, like I don't know I'd love to know what all you're thinking, but like I would think, okay, what's the wind doing? Am I hitting this a little bit right? Am I hitting? Okay, got to get it up higher because it's this. There's probably a lot, and it's just like, does that, however many seconds? It's probably like 5 seconds. 8 seconds, whatever that time is after you do your little step off. Does it feel like an eternity, or has it got to the point where it's all like whatever for you?
At this point, it's just all so much routine.
Okay.
You get your spot, you get your aiming point, you take your steps, do whatever I do, nod, and then that's it. To me, it's almost kind of like I black out. In the sense of like I nod at coreless right now, and then I couldn't tell you anything else that happened until after the kick. Christian will come up to me, hey, how was the snap? How was the hold? I'm like, I don't know. Go watch film. Like I don't have a clue unless I see this,
I'll say, what if you see something
turning,
bobble?
jumping.
Yeah.
Then obviously I pick that up, but like everything is so just like rhythmic that as soon as I give the nod, it's like go. So I don't know.
So I have two questions that I want to follow that up. Because I'm just fascinated, like, because I love that you're like you do your steps, you do you're like you black out. If is it the same thing? Like, say coreless, knock on wood, hope it would never happen. The holder gets hurt, or your punter gets hurt, and now you've got a new guy coming in.
So Atlanta,
yeah. Oh yeah, having Atlanta.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, but
Okay.
we'll get to the actual punt here in a second.
Okay, are you thinking a little more during that situation, or is it still got to do the same thing?
So I mean, just kind of like if
listen, I was the backup holder, I'd be nervous.
but we worked at it every week.
I know. Okay.
So then I know what to expect.
We did one play every week.
We had one play a week, but we worked it.
Is that a typical workload for the special teams? Just get
one play?
Get one rep.
If we're lucky.
One play, see ya.
Yeah, but there's got to be a little more thought.
There's more thought in the sense of let's hope he catches it.
Yeah.
Like, because once you put the ball down, I mean, you're not running. I mean, let's knock on something. Let's hope it's not a 55, 60 yarder where the snap and hold have to be absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. It's more so of like, let's just get the ball down and get it in the air type scenario. Like in Atlanta, It was a 24 yarder, 25 yarder. So I didn't have to put max effort into the field goal, or not everything had to be just, it's kind of like golf. You step up to your shot, the entire motion, are you thinking about anything?
Oh, I got so many thoughts in my head, which is probably why I struggle. But I know what you're saying.
But it's kind of like kicking. Like you get your spot, you aim, you do whatever, and then like you just kind of let your body take it. That's how I feel like with kicking. Like I've done it so many times to where like I don't think about everything while it's happening. It's just kind of like I'm ready, and then
that's why. So,
but hold on. I got my second follow up is when is the parachute getting pulled? Okay. Ball comes, guys putting it down, you've blacked out, you're going to kick. At what point are you abandoning it? Like he kind of bobbles, he kind of does something. When are you ripcord, I'm pulling it because I can't follow through? Because you don't want to pull a Charlie Brown and whiff.
I don't mind whiffing. You've seen me slip many times.
I know slipping is different than whiffing.
Yeah.
But at what point are you like, okay, I'm bailing out, I can't swing?
I'm holding on to the last second. I will slow down to give him more time in my like approach.
Wow.
I'll slow down to give him that extra split second, half second, just to get the ball down. And I tell Corliss this all the time, like if you're bobbling something, put it down. As soon as you put it down, don't move it.
Just however it's down.
However it's down. Because the worst thing you can do is put it down and then spin the ball while it's being kicked, and then it's just gone.
I was told.
Yeah.
As a backup holder, I was told.
You've mentioned that a couple of times.
It's like get it down.
Just put it down.
Just hold it. Let him kick the laces like Ace Ventura.
Laces out, Marine.
Laces out.
That's so interesting to me. Like the feel that you need to have for the entire team. Like it almost feels like you need to be feeling what every single all the other 10 guys are doing. Like you need to be feeling, and we probably get to this in the Kansas City when we talk about Kansas City. You need to be feeling what each side of the line is doing to see when that pressure's coming in. You need to be feeling what that holder is positioned as you're approaching to do something you've already locked in your mind. When you're talking about blacking out, you're talking about it all being so automatic, so regimented. When did that become like that for you? Was it as soon as you started kicking footballs, you're like automatic, or at some point in time in college or high school, did it click for you?
I think the more confidence you gain in yourself. I mean, I've gone through, like, my first couple years here, I don't think it was that way. I mean, I wouldn't even let my family tell me when they were coming to games, because being a young kicker in this league, you don't know if you're going to be on that team in 3 weeks. So I think, the more years I've put into it, kind of the more confidence I put in myself in that situation. It definitely didn't start like that.
Yeah.
I definitely worried about holds, worried about snaps, worried about wind and stuff like that. And then I've just gotten to the point to where it's just, I don't even think about anything anymore.
Dude, if you ever lose confidence, brother, you can borrow some from the city of Pittsburgh, man. Because when we see 9, we feel okay. Like we feel
good. I got no worries here.
Yeah, you did mention something. You're talking about your golf game, and I've always been curious about this because anytime I've played golf, I feel like it's been with football players. I play golf good enough to have fun. Don't go out very often.
You've seen a lot of slices then.
A lot of slices. But I'm always curious because you get these like apex level athletes that do this for a living. Your entire life is devoted to keeping your body right, to perform on Sunday or Monday, whatever. I'm always curious what position on a football team makes the best golfer. And I've come down to kickers and quarterbacks.
Mostly quarterbacks.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Quarterback.
The best
Quarterback kicker. Yeah, I don't know.
Quarterback over kicker.
Yeah.
You think quarterbacks are better?
I don't know.
You think kickers are better? 'Cause I feel
in the league now, I say there's some specialists out there that beat, I don't know what quarterbacks play. Jake Elliott, Philly
Who's
kicker.
Jake Elliott?
Eagles.
Jake Elliott
I want to say he's like, from what I heard, I've never played with him. I think he's like a +2 or a +3.
So I think that speaks to the lack of quarterback golfers right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just don't think there's
Specialists definitely have the more time.
more time on your hands.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys that.
Get off
I was trying to
early,
think like on the way here. I was like, okay, you guys got like Scobie. And that was all I came up. That was the only list I could come up with. That was a good kicker.
The thing why I'm leaning to kickers, sorry, brother, is because how you explained your approach. Like, there's so much going through your mind. In my golf game, I feel like if I can get to a blank space in my mind, the better off I'm going to be. If I'm overthinking it, last minute you think about this thing, slice it, and you're donating Pro V1s to the woods, right? Kicker, if you get to that spot, I feel like you get a clear golf game. But it ultimately boils down to an accuracy game, right? Golf.
100%.
So it's which position has the better framework to become more accurate?
Listen, I can only speak for the people sitting here at the bar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone says they're a 3 handicap, and they are not a 3 handicap.
I didn't say +3. 3.
Okay,
+3, yeah.
I would love to settle it just so I have my answer in my mind question. Obviously, we can't go hit some golf balls, but I did think if I could take this back to
right now.
junior high, Bos, I do have a paper football here.
Oh, my.
And I figured we're talking about
Did you
accuracy.
YouTube how to make that?
I did. Wasn't sure, but I mean, that looks like regulation. That's a pretty tight.
Yeah,
That's a.
My finger is a little sore.
I figure we could just kind of test it out.
How was that do with golf?
Accuracy. We'll see
he's
which
probably
one.
more
flicking accuracy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, do you not think you could?
Flick a football?
Yeah.
A paper football?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know if you guys want to
Do whatever.
I'll chalk it up to the quarterbacks winning that.
You want to try it?
Yeah, what am I going to flick it to?
Okay, I got you here. Here.
Where are you going to go?
I'm going to go
I
over
gotta
here.
go sideways?
Yeah.
Go straight at the camera. If you hit it, you win.
Here's-
Am I on the big one up there?
Yeah. You want to? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I have to go first, boss. Okay, folks.
Well, let me get you a goal so we see who wins this
Oh,
first.
it's going to hit the lens.
Oh.
Yeah. Hit
yeah.
the lens of the
Yeah.
wide. The wide shot.
You
Hit
guys
the
are going to
lens.
see this thing coming,
Right.
and you're going to know
All right. One
who
kick.
it is. If you go away, bang!
Oh.
I hit it.
That was good.
That was
close.
Disney.
Yeah, that was
Guess what?
good.
Guess who's the 50-yard field goal guy? Get that to Boss.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
give it to Boss.
Yeah.
Come on, Boss. Let's see what you got. Okay, Boss, you have to kick it into.
So I'm going to the far one, right?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Don't.
Yeah.
We have to because
I'm waiting.
he'll want to do like some sort of like camera trick where it looks like it's.
I'm
right,
all
Boz.
here we go.
One of these.
You go.
No, you got to go for that guy over there. One straight ahead
All
with
right,
twin
ready?
chairs. See, he's the short,
I'm the
accurate
short guy. Yeah.
He's a short.
I'll take it. I'll take it. PATs all day.
He's all that.
That's funny. I was trying to figure something out, Boz. I got to look at my phone because I was trying to see because we usually go around the league a little bit, but I felt like this week around the league was a little
Well,
not much.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you got something, go for it.
No, I was going to ask about, but go ahead. I was going to ask about kicking struggles.
Okay. Well, I wanted to know about Kansas City.
Oh,
So
well,
Kansas,
that's kind of kicking struggle.
Yeah. I mean, so Kansas City, Denver. That is I feel like the fact that Denver even had a chance to dethrone an undefeated team, Kansas City team. It makes it doesn't make sense. Division.
Division
they see
games are always up.
But it was
in
in Kansas City. Like,
I
I
know.
didn't think that they had a prayer.
Yeah.
But so my question would be, does that show the human side of Kansas City that they can keep it close, or does it say that Denver is maybe better than you think, or does it just show how good Kansas City really is, that they can still find a way to win when they're not playing their best? I mean, I think that's the latter. The part that would scare me.
I think the latter. That's been my whole fear with Kansas City.
That would scare me.
It's like, oh, well, they don't look like Kansas City. I'm like, yeah, and they're undefeated. That's terrifying. What happens if they turn it on week 12?
I get it. I think it's just I would be more. That's why I'd be more worried that they're a football team not playing their best football, but they're finding a way.
Yeah.
I mean, to block wasn't even a far field goal.
It was like 35, 37, something like that.
Was operation slow? What? I mean, I didn't.
Yeah. What'd you see on that?
There was no protection.
Did they? So is that like when you guys go into special teams meetings? Is it like okay, we have to have a block here. We find like the water boy, like the water boy, like we find the weakest link guy.
Find out who's taking it.
So they knew that left guard or whoever it was has been a little leaky, as coach would say.
100%.
And so it's like, let's line up guys and just run over him.
Yeah, and you probably want to wait till something like a game's on the line, because if you go at them too early, they're like, all right, they're coming at you. They come for me. Sit in there, hold up a little more, or they're like, let's wait till kind of
we need it if we have to.
Yeah, and then you call that play or call that rush, and then just put 3 guys in that gap like they did, and I think almost 3 people blocked that field goal.
Yep.
It's not like one guy got through.
Can you put as many people over guys as you want, as long as it's not the center?
Yeah, as long as it's not Kuntz. Yeah,
it's unbelievable to me that that's how they win the game. I mean, Denver's got to be like, we did it, like that was their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then that happened.
Well, I mean, your breakdown of that makes that even more terrifying, or that team more terrifying, that they are watching this and strategizing this just in case they need to pull. I mean, that is A+ coaching.
Everyone's doing that, but the fact that you waited for the right time, because they could have easily done it, knowing it's a close game, they could have done it earlier in the game, be like, okay, we need a block here.
Yeah.
They may not have done it, or they might have done it, who knows, but it's a good point that you can't do it too early. You do it too early, it's like, okay, I gotta button down.
Yeah, I think they had like an end of the half 60-yarder, so they had enough protection, to kick a 60 at the end of a half, but then they don't have enough protection to hit a 37-yard game winner. So it just comes down to either that play or that guy, or something didn't sync up for that left side for him to just get.
Would you rather it's not, this is kind of a 2-minute question, but it's not. I just thought of it. Would you rather kick? Because I always think about like quarterbacks, like how nice it would be to play in a dome like your whole life, because you have as we talked about earlier, we get to deal with the elements.
Unless you're in Dallas.
You get like the elements all the time. Would you rather kick like in a dome or in Denver, Mile High? Ball flies really far up there.
Probably Denver.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That ball's just gone.
Can you legit feel that, as a kicker in Denver?
You can feel it. The only issue people get to going there, and trust me, I found out too, is just because you're in altitude don't mean you got to swing harder.
Yeah,
that ball's going to carry regardless. So it's like, hit your same ball. If you're a dude who kicks 100%, kick 100%. But if you're a guy who hits a 75% ball, and it's just going to carry it 5 to 7 yards further.
Wait a second. So y'all don't kick it 100% every time?
Yes, but no. You're kicking 100% of the time, or 100% of your effort.
Yeah.
But it's not sporadic. It's when you get to those 60-yarders that dudes start, shanking so far left and right, because they're putting more into it.
Trying to go extra.
Yeah, just hit the same ball.
Well, it's like, doesn't Tucker do like a little false start? Doesn't he need to get like a running start when he tries those long ones? He does like that little hop.
The old Happy Gilmore.
Little run into it.
Kickoff field goal.
Yeah, isn't that illegal?
They didn't call it.
I know, but
so no.
Yeah, you get a little running start before the ball snapped.
More people started doing it once he hit that. What was it, 60 something, 65, ridiculous. Whatever in Detroit.
Yeah, dude.
More people started doing it, and they found a way to sync it up to get that extra step.
Could you go sideways, or would it throw you off too much? Like get a running start sideways. It's like motion. Like start running sideways and then. You know what I'm saying? Does it make sense what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. That's just
nah, Sam.
I'm just trying to figure out.
I ain't gonna do that.
I'm trying
like
to figure
motion.
something
What
out.
you just start shuffling sideways and
Come
then go.
off the
start
bench,
running sideways,
Gatorade in hand,
and then do a little turn right at the ball.
Start from the numbers and then just.
Danny Smith, put that in. Put that in.
You had mentioned Detroit. I was wondering if you got to see was it Jake Bates?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, he was selling bricks before the season and just kind of makes the team and gets a 58 and a 52.
Yeah.
Right. To win it. What are your thoughts when you see a guy like that? Because even your journey through, college, the league, to see a guy that come off a game like that and still just kind of be in that cloud of like pinch me. Like, what are your thoughts after having the success that you've had so far in the league?
Man, kicking's all about opportunity. He went and I think his first field goal in what was it? The CFL was a 63-yard game winner or something like that. And I mean, the dude has a cannon. We saw him in preseason. He hits a good ball. It's just you can be right place, wrong time. You could be right place, right time. I mean, if Swisham and that whole Hall of Fame game, if that don't happen, I'm not here.
Yeah.
So it just you can be as good as you want, but if there's just no jobs out there for a couple years and they have 10 to 20 kickers coming out of college every year, you get forgotten about quick.
That's crazy. Or have like a bad couple games, just like literally just something. Yeah.
So it's just all about the right opportunity and just kind of luck of the draw on what year you come out and what jobs are there.
Man, that's wild. Because I feel like somebody who's never gone on that journey, it's always, I think, the rest of us normals, it's like, oh, man, you just got to be good enough. And it's like,
sometimes it's not
there are phenomenal players.
You got to get lucky, too.
That tells you Jake Bates was sitting there and, he just fell into a right opportunity in Detroit and is running with it. Same thing with Cowboys, Aubrey. I mean, he didn't start kicking football till last year and jumps on that team and just explodes.
I feel like there's a lot of kickers coming in from, like, Australia. Like, what are other sports? Obviously, soccer, we've seen that. But I feel like there's a lot of rugby guys coming in. What are other sports you think like that translates?
Right? A lot of
rugby. Rugby punters.
Has that been happening? Or is that just new to the last couple of years? Or?
I'm not the guy to ask about punting. I don't have a clue.
Well, I mean,
we've seen you punt.
Week 1, I felt like you had a clue, my brother.
Know that was luck.
Yeah. What was that like in Atlanta week 1? You had, obviously, tragedy. You never want to see that, but.
Yeah. The most nervous I was just to catch that snap.
I think that's what you said.
Whatever happened on the punt, I didn't care. I just wanted to catch the ball, and then I'd be all right.
You're like, as long, I'm fine with the leg. It's the hand.
No, I think I licked my fingers about 12 times. Yeah.
Pull up Drew Brees. Oh, that's so funny.
But that's the most nerve-wracking thing. I mean, I would imagine, and educate me if this sounds ignorant, but I would imagine that kicking field goals is much more challenging of a kick than punting.
Yeah, it's harder. Yes, it 100% is.
I'm not going to say any job is harder than the other.
But maybe if you're not used to punting.
Oh, if I'm not used to, I mean, if I'm not used to punting, it's extremely hard for me. Just like you can't take a punter and make him kick. I mean, some guys can do the kickoffs, but it's hard to find a punter that can be the backup kicker as well.
Right, and you can be a kicker and punt because you just got to catch the ball and kick it hard. That's what I'm saying. So
grip in the river, dog.
Catch the ball and punt it. Just kick it. Doesn't have to be. You don't need a spiral. Just kick it far.
The contrast on the philosophies of their game is so funny to me right now. You got backyard Ben over here. He's like, hey man, give me the ball and we'll score touchdowns. And then you got. Rice graduates engineering school, correct? Right? Real articulate.
You did not graduate an engineering degree.
Engineering, no chance. Nope.
Well, he's been engineering victories all season, my man.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Another question I had, man, just with the special teams, because I always feel like having talked to offense, Steve, you're the first special teams guest we've had on the show, I think. Right? We always had offense, defense. I feel like the special teams is like this, like, odd man out.
Less than? Oh.
No, I was going to say that.
Me.
Right? What's the relationship like with special teams and defense? Because I saw even the Deebo Samuel this week. I don't know if you saw that clip when he kind of went after
He probably backed up Moody. Someone's probably said to Moody, because Moody's first game back since injury, he struggled.
Yeah.
And so he probably smarted off to Moody, and then his snapper has the kicker's back, and then, it just goes at each other.
Does happen to you when someone talks bad to you? Christian comes running in for you?
No chance.
I'm interested about that relationship because I feel like we don't have that in Pittsburgh because of the success that the special teams has had.
Hey, look who just texted me.
Oh, Danny.
No joke. Why are you texting me right now? We're not even live, Danny.
He wants his
You
name
and
out
Bos
there.
together on a podcast.
Yeah.
He felt it.
He's going to
Both
act
you
like he
keep
don't know
minding
what's going on.
Yeah.
Keep minding Christian's names out of your mouth.
Which means Kuntz is in the facility right
Yes,
now.
you guys
And went and
are-
told him about it.
This isn't even live. How do you know it? Look, that's what we're. Go ahead. I'll let you finish that. Go ahead. Yeah, defense. You're talking about defensive guys. Defensive guys get more mad at specialists than offensive.
Well, yeah,
guys.
just that relationship because it's so funny because it can legitimately the game, all of their effort the victory loss can rely on your leg, and I feel like in a lot of when you don't have an elite special teams group on the team, I think it's like offense, defense, and then those guys. But I feel like in Pittsburgh because of the success that you guys have had for so long, the last couple of years here, that's probably not the case like a lot of other teams.
Yeah, but I also feel like we mesh with the team very well. I don't know about other teams, but I mean, we're always messing with offense, always messing with defense. There's some sort of, shenanigans going on in the locker room where we're all involved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really offense here, defense here, then specialists are in another room somewhere else. We're always, pranking each other, doing stuff. And kudos to, Kuntz and Corliss and also Cam when he was here. We mesh with everybody. We're not just the odd guys out who aren't ever seen.
Yeah, I would say, coming from an offensive perspective, the guys that we've had, and it helps when you're good. That obviously helps.
Yeah.
But they go about their job as professionals. If you got a guy that's over, like we've had guys here that have like missed kicks or missed punts, and they're just like, oh well, or like kind of the same thing like back talk. Like if they miss one or something like that, like no one feels worse than they do.
Yeah.
Or if they screw something up, we don't have to go remind them. I'm guilty of it at some point. I don't know if I've ever done it to Bos, but at some point when it's like, come on, man, like do your job. If you do your job and you work hard and you show you care, that's enough for me. And that's what we've been with these guys. And like he talked about, that group has always been hardworking group, and they do their job. They take it serious, and they have fun too. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, goofing around, being a part of the team. Like they don't. Yeah, we joke with them a lot because they're on their own like field sometimes, and we're like, oh, look at the specialists over there like doing their thing. But when it's time to do their job, they're doing it, and they'll be the first ones to have fun and be a part of the group and stuff. So it's we've always had a lot of respect for them, and I think you expect offensive guys to feel some kind of way about the specialists because you guys are almost an extension, right? Fourth down, it's the end of the offensive drive. So you're like, come on, man, finish this. But I've always felt super confident when Bos has gone out there, Swish, whoever it is, that they're going to get the job done and do it as a professional. And that's the way he's always been. So I think it's easier to accept a guy when he takes his job serious and does it at a very high level.
Yeah, and that seems quintessential Steeler culture to me. Like those responses is like, yeah, dude, we move as one unit. That's cool, man.
Danny said, I said, how'd you know this isn't live? How'd you know we're talking about y'all? He goes, don't forget I'm a guy that knows everything. Plus, we're sitting in your driveway. Awesome. Danny. We're going to get to you next, Danny.
Oh, Danny Smith, man.
Hey, did you see the cut on his face?
Yes. What happened to that?
Pre-game, he's in the huddle with the referees talking. Punt comes flying in, hits the ground. And a group of people hits the ground and hits him in the face at everybody. So when he said he's going to be the first coach in shoulder pads and a helmet, he is not wrong.
As soon as they showed him, he was like, and I was like, I thought maybe he got something removed. Like, remember he had that thing on like his face or whatever. I didn't know what it was, but why does that not surprise me,
bro?
It's always him.
I want him to wear. I want him to wear eye black next week. Just
doesn't he have two like shoulder? Like he's doing a lot of like low shoulders. He's hurting.
Yeah, he's got torn labrums and both shoulders. One's old, one's new.
Too much pointing to the other team and like this the other officials. I was telling Spence. I can't confirm or deny this. But when Danny used to get, someone used to put a program, the game program, in his locker before games.
Oh yeah,
and it was signed by a coach from the other team, usually their special teams coach. I was telling Spence a little bit about how Danny used to get these special notes.
Yeah, I don't know who that was, but it hadn't happened in a couple of years.
Oh really?
Like when would you say maybe the last time? I don't know.
Like 3 years ago?
It's been 3 years.
I am curious about this though. I want Bos to break down your technique on that pooch punt that you had.
Oh, Ranger Danger.
Oh, it was great.
But
There's no leg extension.
Little corner.
I
Did
caught
you?
the corner of that thing.
So you were nervous about catching it, not nervous about kicking it. You're probably not nervous about catching it, nervous about kicking it.
I'm
right?
not nervous about anything.
No, ice water. You see that punt? Spectacular.
Listen, like he said, we practice that every Saturday. My biggest thing was just I just didn't want Danny to get on me. That was my biggest concern. That was my fear, that Danny'd get on me. But no, between Garrett Guimont, Danny, I was putting that thing on the corner on Saturday mornings. Right there.
Oh, coffin corner right there, bud.
It couldn't get any closer to the pylon every Saturday.
Like we talked about, there's no difference of Saturday mornings to game day. You know?
True professional gets the job done, right, man?
Hey, I have more punts than Bos in the NFL, I bet.
Well, equal
How many
now.
punts you got?
How many you got?
I only remember this one.
See? I got more
Oh,
than
yeah.
you.
Preseason
How
don't
many you
count.
got?
Yeah.
I got at least 3 or 4.
Were they all
In
good?
the NFL?
Were they all good?
I think I averaged like 3-yard line. Hey, all y'all watching, go ahead and check it out.
Okay, so you're talking
I
about
did get
more
one block, but
punts.
that wasn't my fault. That's because the person didn't block.
More punts than Bos, but Bos, how many TDs you got? Because one that in Denver to Big Al.
Hey, I'm 1 for 2.
That's 1 for 2. And the one in Cleveland.
The other one I don't remember, you know?
What
Did you get laid out on that
Oh,
one?
yeah.
It's a little scary when someone's coming at you, huh?
Yeah,
Did you
especially
get
late.
Did you get hit by Miles Garrett?
No, I don't know what. It wasn't.
That was
Miles.
Mason.
No, you know.
Oh,
yeah,
not
no,
the helmet.
yes, that no, not
I
not
got you. Not that one. My apologies.
No, we were all aware of that one. The helmet was off. I could see his face. I know who that was. No, but like on the Cleveland one, we got late. I mean, you were outside the line, like a yard and a half outside the lines when he hit you, right, in Cleveland.
Oh yeah. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but it was definitely
Someone didn't block?
happened way too quick. So defense knew everything that was coming.
That's real.
So I'm just holding a hand grenade,
Yeah.
waited, and then just threw it.
Jeez.
That reminds me of when Jerome Bettis, we did a halfback toss when I was like, I think it was my first or second year. And we're on like the 2-yard line, little halfback pass, toss, sweep. He's rolling out and he has to like tuck it for a second to act like he's running. Then he pulls it. And all week in practice, he'd do this. He'd do this like pretty little throw. And he got in the game and he was like, and he panicked. And I'm like, Bussy, what was that? And he goes, man, that's scary when someone's coming at you. I said it gets a little different when someone's coming at you now. I'm just saying. So
Yeah, that's terrifying, man.
yeah.
That is a terrifying situation to be in. Boss, have you ever gotten to play overseas?
No,
Not yet. Do you think kicking over there would be more intimidating because it's such a big soccer culture? That they probably judge kickers like America would probably judge a quarterback because it's such
I
a
never thought about that.
I never thought about it. But I don't think so.
no.
He doesn't care.
No.
Yeah.
Buzz doesn't care. He just
Ice
going
water.
to kick. He's just steady Eddie out there.
So I just talked to Gano, and they just played in Germany,
Yeah.
and they're not allowed to have propane there. So they just played in 34, 35 degrees and no heaters at all.
What?
Because they
Old
had
school.
no heat components. They can't heat up anything.
They're not allowed to have propane in the country?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, either in the country or in the stadium. I don't know which one.
I
but-
would have just rubbed two
That'd be
sticks
cool.
together, brother. At that point, like,
Hey, a lot of sweats on.
Yeah,
jeez.
because we have heated benches, heated floors.
Yeah, we know because
Yeah.
you guys. I'll
never moving.
I'll go to the heater and I'm like, hey, fellas.
Boss, over there,
him-
hot cocoa.
Him, the long snapper and the punter are usually right in front of the heater, and I'm getting ready to go on the field. I'd be like, get a little bit of that, fellas.
Do we have to make reservations?
Y'all,
or what's the deal?
y'all are just standing in front of it. Your helmets are melting because you're holding it so close to the heater. I can't even get me a little bit.
What's
What's
the
hat on backwards, standing in front of
Oh,
here.
I just went
This
out-
is lovely right here,
Hey,
guys.
Washington, I left my helmet on the heat, like the heated tube that they have coming out. Put my
melt?
helmet on the first time, just burned my head. I was like, all right, I'm taking that thing off.
Hey, you don't realize you gotta stay warm. Like
Yeah.
you gotta keep those legs warm.
Yeah, what's the worst conditions to kick in? Is it cold? Is
Cold
it
for
wet? Is it
sure.
obviously windy? But like,
Cold.
do you have a best and outside of Acrisure, a best and worst stadium that you like to kick in?
Best is any indoor.
Anyone?
And I don't have a worse, no.
No. Is there ever been a like a game that stands out to you where it's like, dude, I did not want to go out here and
What was that winter freeze game we had? Was that last year or the year before? It was like 5 degrees and
That-
40
that-
mile an hour
that
wind.
You
Raider
guys go out
game.
early too.
Yeah.
that Raider game a couple years.
Yeah, Raiders, yep.
That was
But I
your
don't wanna
last
say-
game at home was freezing. Last Heinz game against the Cleveland,
Yeah, it was cold.
that was freezing.
I don't
But just
remember.
the cold does it.
Yeah, cold.
And you guys go out like extra early too, and you're always
Hour and a
warming
half
up.
for the game, yep.
Is that your choice? Is every kicker different? Or is that just kind of like everyone's does
It's
the
kind
same?
of just because everything happens so quick. Normally, every team, especially every team, because kickers are always out there at the same time. Because we have 30 minutes, and then the returners come out, and then basically the field's taken up till the game time. So it's kind of the only time we can have before the field gets taken over.
Kickers are on the pecking order.
Yeah,
Down a little bit. It's unfortunate.
That answers my other question.
way out in front.
If you're trying to kick and someone's like wants to be in your spot, who has priority? Depends on what team it is.
No, it just depends on what's happening. I mean, I'm not gonna just go put my tee down in somebody's way. I'll kind of
Maybe
just
we should think about that.
move
Didn't
out.
that happen with the Chiefs and Tucker? Was there some sort of thing with Kelsey? I thought there was something like 2 years ago or something.
Oh yeah.
There was some sort of a silly. I don't know if they were being silly or if it was
Where
real.
they threw his helmet and the holder and all that
Some
stuff.
sort of thing happened like the
Yeah,
other way.
I don't know.
Could have just been fun.
Yeah,
I feel like a guy like that. I mean, he's earned respect all around the league. One thing that did stand out, I saw this a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago, was a Virginia Tech kicker was out there during the marching band. Did you see that clip?
oh, that
like the
happens everywhere.
What
happened?
so who's got jurisdiction there? So you get the marching band is out, right? And the Virginia Tech kicker is legitimately just ignoring all of them doing kicks. And then
Was
people
it in Virginia Tech?
no, they were no.
On the road. See,
They
at
were-
home they might move for you. If you're on
Right.
the road, I don't know if they're going to move for the kicker.
Yeah, I mean, we're told like they had the the corgi races the last home game, so they tell us like,
Hey, stay out the dog's
Sorry,
way.
hey, from this period to this period, the field's taken up, just so y'all aren't just out there standing around.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're in other people's stadiums, they got their own stuff going on.
You can't.
So you kind of just got to get out of the way.
Yeah, that's wild.
You don't have any say in what they're doing in their stadium.
Yeah, this young man just didn't. I mean, he was pushing sousaphones, just doing. I mean, I get it. You got to do your job.
What do you guys go into halftime?
We go in at halftime for like 2 or 3 minutes and then go
Back
right
out.
back
How long
out.
did you play? Did you not know that for 18
I
years?
mean, I don't.
He's got stuff to do.
I got things to do. I got a game.
Have you seen a play sheet? He's got to remember all that.
No, it made me think because you were talking about halftime. Didn't like a couple years ago a kicker like at halftime of the Super Bowl stay out and watch the
Oh
That was
yeah,
Bengals dude.
yeah, bang, yeah.
McPherson.
Yep.
oh he's a rookie too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So
Well,
you're-
we go out early, but I guess
He stayed for the whole
I don't
thing.
know if he knew the halftimes in the Super Bowl were 30 minutes because
Oh.
normally they're 10 or 12 minutes.
Right,
you
right.
go
So you
in,
think
get
he,
something,
like-
and go right back out.
Yeah.
And I guess
Halftime's
he already
ridiculous.
went out, and there were still like 20 minutes left or whatever. So he was just like, I'm not going back in just to come back out.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest things. The biggest, and I've talked about on the show before. The biggest shockers to me from college to the NFL was how short halftimes were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember going and sitting down at halftime and then being like, "All right, here we go." Like, wait, what do you mean? Like, we got to go back out already?
Almost got
Like,
to
it's-
warm up again. It's been
fast,
so long.
yes.
Yeah.
That was shocking. What and they talk about the speed of the game, right? For quarterbacks, like from college to the NFL, you always hear young guys talk about the speed of the game. Like, what's the biggest, like for kickers, what's the biggest change from college to the NFL? Like, is there one thing? Is it speed? Is it how fast? Do you have to get the ball off quicker in the NFL than college, like from
No.
snap, hold, kick, or anything?
I mean, because special teams coaches at this level are aware of that. So they're not even going to look at guys who have a 1-6 get off
Okay.
for a field goal when you need like a 1-2, 1-3. You can always work with that and shorten it. I don't know if I could pinpoint what's the biggest change from college kicking wise.
Kicking-wise, yeah.
Speed for y'all and all that, size, whatever. But kicking, I don't think
It's just speed anyway.
the college
Uprights
to the
being more
NFL
narrow?
football is a big change.
The football is different.
Yeah, it's not them long, skinny rifle balls or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of got to figure out a new sweet spot for a week or two hitting a football.
What about uprights being more narrow? Anything there, or not really?
No, I like it so much more than college. Because, I mean, you have the hashes.
That was my next question. Is
Yeah.
like that angle of like the short kick
Yeah.
is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to turn. If you have a ball at the 2-yard line, and you're kicking a 2-yard line on the left hash.
You're kicking basically
college.
sideways. Yeah.
Yeah. I wondered about that. Like that's what I was thinking. Like the hashes, just seeing. I'm trying to think like what else would be. There's not much else in it for a kicker, I could imagine.
no.
I mean the new kickoff rule, but that's not a.
Yeah, I was wondering what you thought about that new kickoff rule. You can decline a comment too if you want.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have good things to say about it.
Yeah, that seemed to be a sentiment that was shared with a lot of former kickers that have the freedom to
Yeah, it's just a weird. It's just a. But it's going to be the new normal, right? I mean, it's going to stay.
Yeah.
And they're talking about moving if you hit a touchback, you're talking about moving it up even further now too for next year.
Because they don't want touchbacks.
They don't want touchbacks at all.
What's it now? The 40? A 30?
The 35.
Which
30,
I think about
30,
when
I
I
don't
first
know.
got in the league, it was 20-yard line.
I think it's
And
30.
Is it?
We would say one first down is huge. Like you get one first down from the 20. So if you get the ball past the 30, you've already flipped the field.
Yeah.
Because punters can kick it down there. Now you're getting the ball on the 30. It's like you've already one first down. Now you're almost a field goal.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
Especially with Aubrey in Dallas,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a unique. It's a penalty now for. I mean, it's a penalty for kicking a touchback.
It's taking kicking out of kicking.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can you kick that low little like squib, or are you worry about it not getting to the landing zone?
See, but you can. I mean, you definitely can if you play 10, 12 games indoors and you can work on that. But like in our division, in our games, we play all Northeast football now. Like the field conditions, the wind, anything. I mean, you hit one ball that's not a perfect rotation and that wind dives it down, you're giving the ball at the 40.
Which is
So like it's just...
can't afford to give certain teams the ball.
So
like
they're
that.
with this rule, they're just taking kicking out of kicking. All these college dudes that are smashing footballs with big legs don't even matter now.
Yeah. When they go to set this rule, are they talking to players, the Players Association? Like, do you have any input on as players on?
I don't think so.
No, you're just kind of like, hey, by the way, this is what you got to do now.
You know how the NFL does it. You know, I'm gonna ask all y'all players what you want to do. Okay, I don't care. Don't care.
Hey, vote on this. Yep, you got your vote.
Yeah. You
Don't
know,
care.
this go so crazy.
No, they all voted this way, and then you ask all the players. No one voted that way.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just what the NFL does.
What have you seen, and if so, what do you think about like this rise of the like internet YouTube kicker? These cats that are going out and they're bombing these kicks on high school fields or whatever. You know, I feel like
kicking off or kicking field goals.
kicking field goals.
Oh, really?
I mean, I feel like it's
thing.
what we talked about. I mean,
Anybody can do it.
you can, not anybody can do it, but you can put it down, put a ball on the stick, and then record as many times as you want. There's no one out there. There's no game situation. There's nothing. So, I mean, it looks cool having these 70, 75-yard field goals, but
Yeah.
it's not
It's
happening.
like going out and hitting a driver and being like, look how far I'm going to swing as hard as I can, and maybe 1 out of 20 goes 390 yards.
And you post it.
And it's but you just missed a fairway. You know, you're hitting on a wide thing. You missed the fairway by 90 yards. You know, it's just different.
I'm not saying the dudes don't have skill. I just think there's a huge difference in YouTube videos to an NFL football game.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like when we used to always joke. Were you here with Lawrence Timmons?
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot how long you've been here, or how long people have gone. But like, they used to always joke about who had the best arm on the team, and Lawrence had a cannon that could throw the ball further than all of us, like easily. But again, it doesn't translate.
Yeah.
You know, everyone thinks they can play quarterback, or everyone thinks they can kick a long ball or kick a field goal. It's just not the same. It's just not. I mean, I could probably be a kicker, but not for everyone else.
Hey, everybody Saturday mornings now are snapping instead of playing our little games and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone lines up. You know how we wait for like on the other side, we would throw the balls, do all that stuff. And now everyone's like, I think I can snap. So Christian's
long snap?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So Kuntz is out there. Man, everybody quit snapping, and everyone just firing them off their overheads and everything.
Only James Harrison can long snap. Were you here for that? You were here for that?
No, not yet.
That's unbelievable. No, Bos was one of the killer bees.
The last remaining killer bee.
He was the last
long
remaining
time
killer
ago.
bee.
Yeah.
No one, people wouldn't we put Bos on the killer
Yeah.
bee. He was the killer bee.
You're the last one
He's
carrying the
last one
torch.
standing. Thanks, Bos, for carrying the torch for us.
I was watching some of your college tape, man, and you have that iconic onside kick. The onside kick when you did the old. Do you have a name for that?
Ask Ben about the other one in Baltimore.
Okay, so I was going to ask you about that.
What happened?
What? I mean, it cut to your face, and you look devastated on the video.
I think, no one was more mad than me.
Sure.
I can do that.
What happened?
The behind,
Do you have a name for that?
Was it when you did a little step over and tried to get behind?
Yeah, and the ball went nowhere, and I got mad and kicked it down the field.
Bos, I tune those things out for you, Bos.
It's one of those things you can do 100 times perfect, and then it comes down to it, you don't, and it's completely ruined.
And it's all over ESPN. You're like, come on, man. But dude, the one you had at college was awesome.
Every time we play Baltimore, that video comes right back out.
See, I don't remember, but I gotta watch it.
You'll find it real quick.
Yeah, the video they should start playing is your last game in Baltimore when you won the game for it.
And Bos won the game
Yeah.
for us. I know. That's what Bos does.
Rainy weather to put them to the playoffs.
Onside.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
rainy
Buzz
weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at
Oh, here we go.
Baltimore.
Sheesh, ladies and gentlemen,
excuse me.
Chef
Well,
Evan.
you almost go down. You almost go down every week.
But I'm nimble. So
Nimble.
I got cat.
Nimble like cat.
I don't remember it. I'm gonna have to find out, boss.
Which one are you talking about?
Evan, do you
Look
remember?
up my name,
appreciate
failed
it.
onside kick.
I thought I did.
up my name, Phil.
Boz, and if B-O-Z isn't what it is, that's my problem. I always put Boz. Evan, do you remember
Yes,
this?
sir.
This you met
The
Boz. Do
failed onside kick in Baltimore.
you remember him doing that?
The behind the foot kick.
Oh, the one.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
He knows. And it didn't.
The motion.
Yeah, how did you feel when that happened?
I thought the move was electric. That is. It's like
It is an electric
not
move.
many kickers do that move anymore. Correct.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
one for two
especially
in that.
now with the, the new kickoff rules.
How do you feel about that, Evan? We asked Boz about that. And he had
It's like playing hide and seek, but letting people know where you're going to be.
yeah. So just
I'm going to be over there. You
incredible.
count. Come find me.
Here it is. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
you already know it's going to happen.
Yes.
So what's the point?
all right. So Ben's gonna watch this.
Oh my, Boz, it didn't go
I
anywhere.
hope it shows your face.
Yeah, you're watching a video you're in right now, Ben.
But why did we go act like we're covering it? Like we were
Because
covering
no
like we
one
thought we could,
I just kicked it again.
but we had to know that that's not legal, right?
I think they just reacted off me
The
kicking
kickers,
it. again.
the referees are like, "What are we doing? Like, what went wrong?"
Besides the entire thing,
Boz, what?
Boz, this is not why we invited you on the show. I
No,
promise.
I didn't. I forgot.
all right, look at the
about
one in
this.
my college.
The
then.
well, that's what I was
So
talking
what you're
about.
supposed to do is you act like you're kicking left, and then you sweep your leg around and kick right.
So when I watched that college clip,
Oh, is
I
that me when I just looked up?
look how disappointed you are, dog.
No, I'm not. It's starting to rain.
So you're looking into the rain.
How long is it going to rain?
I didn't know you were gonna do that in college, and
Why
then
are
I
the refs,
saw.
but why are all the referees laughing?
What do you think? dog?
Everybody's laughing.
Tomlin doesn't look like he's laughing.
No, nobody was
should.
Was
laughing.
that called?
On our sideline, nobody was laughing.
Was that called like, hey, we're
Oh,
gonna
'cause
do the old rope?
I think it was. See, the game's almost over. I think I'm more mad
No, dog.
at myself for letting it get to that situation. I'm sorry.
I can
Evan, did
handle
you
it.
see the clip of him doing it in college?
I did not.
It was impeccable, bro.
Yeah?
It's just perfect flat. I mean, recovered and went just over 10. That's so when I saw you going, dude, I'm like, oh,
It had high hopes.
Yes.
Didn't live up to it.
let's bring it back, dog. Redemption.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we didn't
bring it
get
back.
into negative talk here.
part
We
of it.
haven't even talked about the game yet, Evan, this week. But so, can you explain the food first?
I sure can. In your little bowls, you have some brisket chili,
Okay.
and then pork belly burnt ends on the left, and then in the middle, some Tex-Mex tater tots, and then an alternative to the pork burnt ends or the regular beef burnt ends. Those are hot dogs, all beef hot dog burnt ends.
So for anybody that doesn't eat pork,
Correct.
Thank you, Evan. Appreciate you.
Perfect. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sounds weird, but they're delicious.
do you not eat anything? Like, is there anything that you don't eat? Like, are you a vegetarian?
I know
or
it
you-
looks like I just don't eat anything, but
Evan's trying to put some meat on your bone.
Right? You want to trade?
You want to trade?
I want to tie my shoes without getting out of breath.
All right, Evan. So we have again. I'm gonna. I don't want to take you away from your segment because I know your hands are sweating a little bit. We have not started talking about the game from this week
That's
yet.
okay. Yeah.
But we would like you to start us off.
Oh boy.
Yes.
So
you got us, Evan. We believe.
Can you give us a breakdown? Do you have notes?
I don't know.
I don't know. So
I don't know. Pulls it out.
Upgraded to a
He's got a paper clip to
I
organize.
gotta mark the page.
Evan, no, dude, I love you, dog.
Well, I just feel like it's better to be prepared. I was a Boy Scout, so always be prepared.
Hey, once a Boy Scout, always a Boy Scout.
He said.
All right, Evan, what you got for us,
Break
brother?
us down, and then we're going to comment on it a little bit.
The first thing is the fake punt inside the 20. I'm sure that's gonna get some.
Yes.
We haven't talked about that, but we're going to.
No, yeah, we will. Yeah.
I was flabbergasted.
It was
Were
an
you- what
incredible call.
What
Yeah,
was your?
it was a great call, and the setup was perfect. But
what?
man,
Did you not like the call?
I did. I just wasn't expecting it, and
Right.
and the execution, like,
Who do you put the blame on, Evan?
Yeah.
oh man,
Good.
I'm in no position to blame anyone.
But
You know.
But if you're going to, no, don't listen.
yeah, you don't have to blame anybody.
No, I'm just saying if you have that opportunity and you're the one that's going to catch the ball, like you gotta
Catch
you
it?
got to catch
Yeah.
the
before you start running. You
gotta catch before you run.
So correct me if I'm wrong, boss. We got
You're okay.
like that's not like a play that's like audible. Well, I shouldn't say audible. That's a play that you guys probably have in every week, right? Is it
24/7?
It's in like, okay, when if a gunner's in or someone's uncovered, somebody is going to. So it wasn't predetermined that y'all were going to do that, right? It wasn't like, hey, we're going out there on this punt, we're going to fake this.
No chance.
Right? It was It wasn't like a Danny Smith made a bad call.
No, if they give you the look, you run it. If not, you punt it.
Okay, and so they gave a look of bringing a gunner in, and so it was Miles to it, right?
Yeah.
Miles, there's some sort of thing. Miles catches, throws, and if it looks good, everyone's happy about it. But so it's not. I just want to reiterate that it wasn't like a predetermined call. It wasn't if a look's there.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. Because what most teams do, and they try to trick you. They bring the gunner in, creep him in, and then run him back out there in case you do decide to throw it. Then you throw a pick. But that guy just stayed in, and right when he came in, we said hut and caught him in a bad position.
Do you think he was going to run back out?
I don't have a clue. I don't watch.
You don't watch. You don't watch your fellow special assignments. Yeah. All right, Evan. Next. Does that suffice you?
What, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know you're not happy that he didn't catch it.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where if he would have caught it, he would definitely have gotten the first down and then some. So I mean, it would have been
some, right?
Yeah, it would have been really nice to see. And Washington was probably I can only imagine the coach.
Who?
Just Washington's coach. Yeah, just like what just happened there? Like that could have been really bad for us. Mm-hmm. So I think that the new guys stepped up. The ones we just picked up, Mike Williams and Preston. I think his last name's Wilson. I'm sorry if I messed that up. It is Wilson.
Is it?
I don't know. Is it Smith?
Smith.
Jeez, I messed it up.
It's okay.
I was just going to let you go.
Not a fan.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously not a true fan.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, it's new.
Yeah, Evan's new to Pittsburgh.
So, and I thought we're going to jump ahead to the ending of the game.
Oh.
The hard count.
Oh, dude.
But I was...
Did everybody in the world not know that was coming?
I was hooting and hollering from the couch, just like
We heard you.
screaming.
We heard you all the way over here.
It never works, And it
We got him! Oh,
it did. Like that was awesome. That was a great finish.
It
to the
never
game.
works.
No, I mean because that's what they're doing. Like
And it's
as
the
soon as
one
Russ
guy-
goes out.
It's the one guy that's the closest to the ball too. Yes, he's right there.
Yeah.
I called it.
Is that you predicted? Is that a better or worse position because you can hear the count better? So you're more likely to get.
You watch the ball.
Yeah, but I think Russ sold it. You could hear you could hear his call too.
Oh yeah. Well, the dude was a rookie, right? I was celebrating and immediately felt bad for the dude. I was like,
Oh, he's a rookie too?
Yeah, he was.
Got him.
Rookie mistake.
Welcome to the rookie mistake. Welcome to the NFL.
And that's overall, I give the game an 8 out of 10. Just because if I had to put a number on it, that's what it would be. Like
that's good.
There was ups, there was downs, and
Big win though. That was a game that we had to have, right?
Yep.
Like you had to. Do you move us up a little bit in the AFC or the overall rankings?
He never had us down, Ben. What are you talking about?
No. Do you move us up? Like if you had us set at like the 8th spot on the power rankings, did we move up one or?
I think we stay where we're at for right now.
That's because you don't want us to get overconfident.
I don't think it's overconfidence. I always go back to complete games. I think that's very important to have a complete game on all sides of the ball, and to have that done, then I think you start jumping up those power rankings.
Sorry, I just took a bite.
You're okay.
Very good, by the way.
Thank you.
Very good.
Because I can't have Boz answer this question.
Yeah.
How do you think we fare? Because I would like to give you my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Not that I know anything about football, but if I were to compare us versus the Ravens,
Yeah.
right now, because I would say we're the 2 teams in the AFC North, obviously that are the best ones. I think that we're 2 teams. I mean, Buffalo potentially 2, but that can contend with the Chiefs right now. I think we're a better complete team than Baltimore.
I agree.
Baltimore's offense is through the roof, maybe the best offense in the whole league.
Yeah.
But our defense is night and day better than theirs.
Yeah.
And our special teams are night and day better than theirs.
And you have to look at what happens if Lamar Jackson goes down.
Right.
You still have Derrick Henry.
Right.
But passing game, I don't know what's the backup Johnson.
Yeah, is Josh Johnson or something?
Yeah. And then you look at the Steelers, if Russ goes down, you have Fields as a backup.
Right.
So I mean I like our chances in that offensively as well. And defense, I don't know what it is against Lamar, but we do pretty well.
Yeah, I think is he nervous?
I would be. You got TJ coming off that end, and that makes a lot of quarterbacks hurry up their rhythms and throw the ball a little bit quicker than they'd want to. So I think that helps out a lot.
Okay. So you're saying we're going to win this week?
I didn't say that. It's early, but things are pointing towards the Steelers.
But you're not saying that because you don't believe it. You're saying that because you don't want to jinx it.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm very.
Are you going to sit in the same spot this week that you did last week?
I will.
Do
Same everything.
you have the same clothes?
Same. Yeah, I wear either an old Steelers shirt or an old jersey, or
Like one that's worked in the past, or
that I've had for years.
okay.
That
Same
still
shoes?
that still fits.
Still fits?
Hey, there you go. Hey, looking right.
Look at that.
Body by Chef Evan.
Had it since high school. Well, seams are a little, iffy, but
Hey man, that's all right.
as long as I don't eat in the morning, it fits.
Well, Evan, anything else? Any other
I do have one question.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
For Bos,
Yeah.
if I may. Is there a particular kicker that you followed growing up, or that you look to for inspiration for your kicking mannerisms or anything like that?
I don't think I followed football enough to follow a specific kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just give the obvious with just Vinatieri. Played, 24 years in the league.
Yeah.
Or, I'd just have to say Vinatieri probably just because of longevity.
Now, did you obviously you come up with your own, the way that you kick the ball and everything like that. But I mean, did you pull anything from the way he does it, or when you watched him, like, oh man, like maybe I should try that way, or anything of that nature, or did you just pretty much figure it out on your own to get comfortable where you are?
No, I think, everybody's body's different. Everybody moves different. And then you go, like all these kids go to these kicking camps growing up, and it just depends on who you go to on how they kick. And I feel like a lot of these people don't let the kickers kick with their body. They teach them how they kicked. So I didn't really look at anybody and say, hey, that's how I want my kicking to look. You definitely have to take, there's like 3 or 4 things that you have to make sure line up to have a successful kick. And then other than that, I mean, whatever happens. Vinatieri, insanely good kicker, didn't have much of a follow through. I don't have much of a follow through, but I didn't get that from him.
Okay.
There's super successful kickers that have just this extreme follow through, and it just works for them. So it's kind of like golf swing. Everybody swings it different. Just don't try to make everybody swing the same.
Yeah. So it's whatever works for you and feels right for you, pretty much.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's
Thanks,
it.
Evan.
Thanks, Ev.
Thanks, Bos.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, my brother.
You're the best, Evan.
Thanks.
Oh, that squeeze. All right, so Bos, this is a segment that is called the family dinner, right? Obviously, Evan brings food, and typically what would happen is Jared would lead us in maybe like a news article or something that's going on. It's family related, faith related, and we kind of just talk about it, chop it up, and then we have another beer to kind of kick it off.
Let's start with the beer.
Let's start with the beer, and then we'll
talk
jump
about
into
the
that.
beer, and then we'll jump into that, right?
Yeah, and I also we're going to use this family dinner. It's going to be a little bit different because Jared's not here. We have some exciting family news. I'd love to touch on that. Congratulate a little bit earlier, but I also want to recap the game. So we're going to use family dinner today to kind of recap the Commanders game, and then we'll jump into some family stuff before then. But before we get started, excuse me, this is the second beer from Fair Winds Brewing Company. This is called Howling, Gale IPA. All right. This is brewed in Lorton, Virginia. All right.
Is the other one for Virginia too?
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
She said,
same spot, just Lorton. Now this one a little bit heavier.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, not crazy. It's 7.2 alcohol by volume, and that is all we got from it. Fair Winds, Howling Gale. Now this makes sense, right? I would imagine Lorton is on the coast because there's a lot of
That
boat
would be my
stuff.
guess.
Yeah, a lot of boat stuff happening here, right? So we have the Howling Gale IPA. Let's see how it tastes, Ben. What do you think?
Sorry.
Mid-chew? Yeah, there we go.
You go to
Yeah,
me. Son.
yeah, okay.
I don't mind. I got burnt ends in my teeth.
Hey, brother. Like a real Texan. Are you really riding after this? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, Bailey and I go.
Good for
do
you.
a little riding today.
Oh, that's good. I think you're going to like
Sounds
that.
good.
It should be cold. That's on us. What do you think? That's got a good flavor.
A little more on the bitter.
Mm-hmm.
I like both of these. I like the first one a little bit better,
I'm the same.
but I could do both of them.
I 100% agree. This feels more, I mean, it makes sense, right? This feels more IPA-esque.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is definitely a West Coast. It's true to the West Coast IPA. Fair winds. These are what the cans look like if you guys want to go pick them up. Out of Virginia. I don't know where they distribute. We got these sent in by Elizabeth. Elizabeth also sent in, if I might add, some limited edition terrible towels.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was limited edition.
Yes, yeah. So she, I believe, works at the Trolley Museum.
Oh.
Right? And so they're redoing this trolley car from back in the day, and they made some official terrible towels. Elizabeth, thank you for sending these in.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
We can use them. You know where we should have had them, bro? When you played Renegade this week on the live stream.
You guess what? I'm the reason.
Yeah, we're taking some credit
Boz.
here. Yeah.
A lot of you, a
This
little bit
show.
us.
A little bit of you, a lot of me.
Yeah.
We were watching the show, live streaming it. We needed something to happen. This is when they were backed up, right?
Yep.
We had them backed up, and they were coming out the fourth quarter. We were watching this thing live. They showed the fans. We're like, man, we need a little Renegade.
A little juice.
Played Renegade. That's what happened. We won.
Yeah, no big deal.
So you got to do it every time now.
No big deal.
Well, we're not superstitious. We are a little stitious, but not super.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And if you guys are watching this episode and you are unaware, we do have a handful of the games, in which we will live stream. We live stream the Commanders game. If you stay plugged into the football and social channels, you will be up to date on when we do that. We will announce that beforehand, so you can join us, get Ben's takes on the game. That live stream is actually still on the channel. You can go back and watch it if you want to, if you got 3 hours to kill. But Boz, you'd mentioned, you kind of tune out the game kind of to protect your emotions when you have to go perform. Do you go back and watch it at all? Are you aware of some of these highlight plays? Like, what does it feel for you, or what does it feel like for you on the sidelines when, like, George Pickens makes this crazy catch, the hard count, some of these standout plays? Evan mentioned the fake punt. Does that stuff stand out to you, or do you go back and watch it?
Did you know the fake punt was coming? Were you like, oh, it's coming?
No.
Because sometimes that's the fun part. I don't mean to interrupt the question.
No,
but
you're good.
That's the fun part is like, as a quarterback, like say I come off on the fourth down or something, or it's going to be fourth down. There will be times that I know you've done it to me. Danny's done like, hey, stay alert. Or Mike Tomlin will do it. Stay alert. We're about to fake this, or we're about to do something. Your guys' field goal thing, all this stuff.
I'm gonna go
like
get you this first. Yeah.
Just be ready. You might be going back on the field, so it's fun to like have those little insights. So that's why I didn't know if you had the insight at all.
No, I didn't have it. I know it's on 24/7. I just,
Right.
with so many like creeper looks, and then they go back out. You don't really know when it's on until it happens. What was the question?
Yeah, my bad.
More recapping the game, because I know I wanted to ask you about certain plays of the game, but you had mentioned earlier that, like, I'm not paying attention. I'm in my own zone. Do you get to go back and watch any of that stuff, or do you like highlights and stuff like that? And what do you think about some of those crazy plays?
I'll go back and like see them if they're just blasted on social media.
Yeah.
But I don't even. You'll think I don't even have an iPad. Like you have the iPads to watch plays and stuff like that. I'll go up and watch a couple plays with Danny here and there, probably once a week. Other than that, I don't really look at film. I kind of just base it straight off feel. But I mean, GP's catch, Mike Williams catch, all those.
But you're into the game, like you're
I'm
watching the game,
yeah.
so you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So you see the catch and then you see the replay. I mean, so you're in tune to what's going on.
But as soon as I see that catch, I'm running on the field, so I don't have time to like, oh, that was sweet. It's just right to a PAT and then kickoff, and by that, it's already forgotten.
Yeah.
I mean, not on our sideline, but it's like time for defense. So
Have you ever been far away from your helmet, like a touchdown, like an unexpected touchdown, like a 90-yard touchdown, or it's coming, so you're like start running, you get into your helmet?
No, but if you've ever been close to our sideline, I untie and tie my cleats 1,000 times a game. So there's been times where we get a pick six or, a long touchdown unexpectedly, and I have both cleats untied. So I'm sitting there tying them as quick as I can. Then I got to find where my helmet is and then run on the field and try to kick. So it's helmet. I always know where it is because it's two spots on the defensive bench or right by our kicking net. But you can catch me sometimes without my cleats being tied, trying to, get some feeling back in my feet.
So you need to get some slide-on Vans, all right? You've seen that going on in the College game day, people wearing Vans making kicks. What's the worst shoe to do a kick in if you don't have your cleats?
Probably slide on Vans.
You think?
Yeah, I would say.
Right. People been making them. People like
Best is Crocs.
yeah. People been making them, making kicks and slide on Vans, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, like college students. Pat was doing it, man. It's got a whole thing. It's become a whole thing, man.
Yeah, I saw the one with, who was it? Jason Kelsey and his Tims.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really good at playing center, I'll say.
Yeah.
He's not so great at your job.
Well, that's why, everybody's got a different specialty.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm not good at center.
Well, let's try it first. Don't.
Nope.
Get run over. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just touch on the game briefly while you guys are nibbling a little bit. This was a game going in that I thought was kind of a barometer game for us. I thought it was a game that we're going to see two teams that are playing good football. It was going to be good for us to go on the road to kind of see what we could do on the road against a good quarterback right now. I still think he's young, and you're going to see some young things out of him, but he's a great football player. I thought our defense completely dominated that game, as we're continuing to see and expect. We talked about the fake punt. Great call by everybody. And if that happens, obviously it doesn't happen, doesn't convert, so they get short field, they go down and score. If that play happens, or even if we punt the ball and flip the field, who knows what happens. They weren't doing anything on offense. That's 7 points taken off the board we talked about. I just think that our defense is continuing to show up every week. I thought Patrick Queen showed up even more this week. He was more noticeable in there. Obviously, with Alex being down, I spoke to him the other day. Just continue to pray for him that he keeps healing and getting better. Getting him back out there is going to be huge. But all in all, the defense is doing some amazing things. They're going to have their hands full this week, obviously, with the number one offense in the league and all the different ways that they can beat you. But just going into that game, it's like, okay, what's our defense going to do? We talked about not turning the ball over was going to be huge for us. Who was going to create the first turnovers? Obviously, Russ threw a pick, but it's one of those big punt throws down the field. It's not the end of the world. Giving his guy a shot. I thought we got to see Mike Williams step up big at the end of that game, make a big play. I think his confidence is going to continue to grow. I think Russ's confidence in him, the coaches, I assume he's going to want to continue to grow on that as well. So he's going to be putting the work in, creating that number two guy that we've talked about so much, and giving, getting another chances for him to take a little pressure off George. I don't even think we've even tapped into Freiermuth yet in the tight end situation. I think that's still an element of the game that I think Arthur Smith would love to get into more.
I mean, had a touchdown, but still, man. I think,
but it's still not. I think I would love to use the tight end. I think we continue to use him. I think that'll be big. So I think moving forward, this is going to be another tester going against this football team. But what I saw this week, I'll kind of go off Evan, like not moving up. But I think this puts us in a closer level to the Chiefs. I think we've moved. I think we're a better team than the Titans. I think because we're a three-phase football team. We have all three phases that are really clicking right now, and what Russ is doing is kind of taking the offense with his confidence to another level. And I think we're just going to continue to see it. Obviously, he's playing well right now, and that's what we want to continue to see. And I think you're going to see the offense continue to grow. I think we were a little more trouble running the ball this week, but we showed that we can then throw the ball to make the things happen. So if you combine both elements of the football game of offense, running and throwing, I think you're going to see a more complete team and add on to the team that's already pretty darn complete. So I think it's going to be fun to see this week what happens.
I got a lot I want to say, and I'm not going to say any of it because I don't want to jinx it.
Okay.
But we're going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, man. I'm stoked for this. I'm stoked for Ravens. I'm always stoked for Ravens week because I don't got to get hit by any of them. But
big week.
And it's crazy. It's not usual to have all your divisional opponents in the back half of your season. That's not a normal thing, right? We should have already played somebody. So this is going to make this little stretch here even more exciting. So I'm stoked on that. Bos, you want to share anything? Any insight on this week's game?
No.
All right. All right, keep it like that.
Here,
Yeah, we'll handle it on the field. I do want to say, man, congratulations, brother. Congratulations, you and your wife are expecting little baby boy.
Baby boy in March.
Yes, that is exciting. Like I know Ben shared a little bit with you before we got going. This section, we really take the time to talk about family, talk about faith as it pertains to just being better men, being better husbands, being better fathers, man. And it's been really cool to see your guys' journey, expecting your son. I'm always curious though, because your guys' jobs are pretty demanding. It's probably one of the more time-consuming, mental capacity-consuming jobs. How are you guys able to balance that and parent and be present as a husband and present as a father? Because I think, and you had mentioned this, and this is probably a good insight to share. It was at times easier to be more present for your kids because they're definitely dependent. Like you can see their dependence on you, and in that you can forget your role as a husband because your wife is autonomous and a full adult and can, and you don't have to care for it. Like, so how do you guys navigate that with the demands of your guys' jobs?
I think for me, early on, it was just football. Football was priority because that's what I knew. That's what I was supposed to do as my job. That's what I grew up doing. And it took me as I matured in my faith, matured as a husband and a father, to then realize that football is not number one in my life. My faith is number one. My family is number two, and football falls back behind that. But it wasn't easy early on, especially before you're married, right? Because football took the front seat to even my faith early on. And I hated that. I wish I never would have let that happen, but it did. And so I think for me, it was just remembering, like every time I come home, like leave the job there. I'd come home, as soon as I got back from practice, I spent all my time with Ashley and the kids. And then once they went to bed, that's when I got, it's like, okay, back into football mode. I'd get my film study out, I'd get all that stuff in at night once they were in bed, rather than sit there and take time away from them to do my football. I just focused on doing it once they went to bed. It made later nights for me, but it was worth the time with my family. So for me, it was just prioritizing family when I came home. Getting up in the morning and trying to get stuff done before they got up. And then once I got up, being real present and then having to go to practice early. So I think that it's for me, it was just to making sure I remember my priorities, what it is. And, I come home from a game, I could have played a terrible game, but my kids never saw it that way. It was always, Dad, great game. I'm like, was it though?
Which game was you watching?
But that's how I approach it. I know that you're a little younger in your marriage, I know, and having a young one on the way and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not, I would just encourage, I'm not sure how you approach things, but just encouraging to make sure where football falls on your priority list.
Yeah, and I'm glad that I have Havana and Channing now rather than before, because I think, like you said, it was football for the first 4 or 5 years and nothing else. Kind of got, drowned in football. Even my mom was like, all right, I won't talk to you most of the season because you're in football mode. And just because I tend to shut everything out, I'm so focused on me, my job, being as good as I can, so I don't have time for anything else. And I think, Havana and Channing has really changed that perspective for me, to where, it's faith, family, then football. And football's definitely, it doesn't run my life like it used to. I mean, it's more so, I mean, I still love the game and I love Sundays, but it's definitely more of a job to me now. And
what you do is not who you are.
Yeah, exactly. In the sense of, I mean, early in my career, if I missed a kick, I didn't want anybody to talk to me for like 2 or 3 days. Like I really had to digest that and get over it I didn't feel awkward around anybody. Now, I mean, Channing, as much of a jokester as he is, if I miss a kick, I'll come on. Why'd you miss that kick? So like he helps break that ice, awesome. Break that awkwardness. And and it's kind of good teaching lesson me to him, because, I mean, you're not always going to do everything perfect. You're going to miss. You're going to have this. He'll go play flag football and he'll drop a catch. And he comes home and, we have to sit down and talk about, what happened, things happen, stuff like that. So, I mean, it helps him just as much as it helps me, to have each other around to kind of like realize that it's a kick. It's a catch. It's a game type.
Well, it's great
thing.
that you can model that and example that for him, because if you came home and like shut down because you missed a field goal and didn't want to talk to anybody, well, then he's going to probably do the same thing.
100%.
And so for him to see that it's still, you still care.
Oh yeah.
I care about it, but things happen. But however you approach it, which is great, and knowing that if he drops a pass or whatever, that listen, doesn't mean you're going to drop it every time.
Yeah.
You're probably going to make more than you're going to drop. So that's good to be able to model those things and example that for him, because the younger generation is so, because he's how old, 7?
6, about to be 7.
About to be 7, like almost parrot time, like everything you say, everything you do is just like they're just little sponges and they repeat things. So that's good that you can model good behaviors and good examples early on for them, because that way he'll carry that on, for his soon to be little brother and everything.
Yeah, and definitely a parrot, because I'm a smack talker. I talk to so now he talks it back, and I'll just look at Havana and she'd be like, "He learned it from you."
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's like, look what you created.
And she's like, "Where do you think he got that from?" Not me.
Maybe been watching too much of that Disney Plus. Was Havana and Channing coming into your life the catalyst that reprioritized that stuff?
Oh,
for you?
100%, because I didn't
it.
have to have that before.
What was that transition like for you? Was that challenging?
I mean, it's, just getting married in June, it's still challenging, to find out where everyone plays a role every single day. Like, day by every day, Monday's different than Tuesday, and then the rest of the week and so forth. So it's like one thing we've really stressed is always having a family dinner. And because no matter what anyone's going on throughout the day, you're always going to be around each other to eat. And so now we kind of like play tricks on each other for dinner of who eats first says prayer. So Channing will pick up a bite and then look at around, make sure no one's watching, because as soon as he takes a bite, he has to say prayer that night. Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
so he's like, "Hey, mom already ate. Go ahead and eat." And he'll wait to see if I eat to see if I'm saying prayer, because he knows mom didn't eat yet.
So funny, dude.
So it's just
awesome.
Having that family time every night. We always, whether it's family catching the basement after dinner, play Uno. He's definitely getting into reading right now, so learning how to read and getting quicker at reading and stuff like that.
That's
so
awesome.
It's definitely a lot of family time that 5 years ago I wouldn't have even had thought about doing. And so with the little one on the way, I missed out the first 2.5, 3 years of
They don't care about you anyway. For the first 2
So I mean, I'm about to go through that, starting March, but it'll be fun.
Is he excited? Does he know?
He's definitely excited, but me and Havana think he thinks the baby's gonna come out wrestling already.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's like, Channing, it's gonna be a while till you and your brother are rolling around wrestling.
Right.
But
That's cool. Yeah, I wondered if he had excited or because it's going to be it'll be different for him, right? He's had all the attention for a long time, and now he's going to have to share attention.
Yep.
So it'll be important for him to understand what that's going to be like. That's cool.
Yeah. Was there ever a time when you're making that transition, it felt like, was there a fear that if I don't obsess over this thing, I'm not going to be as good? I feel like I do that with the jobs I've had, especially when I was touring. It's like I have to put this, in order for me to be this good at it, it has to take every ounce of me. So if I give any ounce of me to anything else, I'm going to suffer here, and that's going to just wash away everything that I've worked so hard for. I found it not to be true. I was very fortunate. The woman I married is completely out of my league in every way, shape, and form. And then after that, being married for a while, that settled in. But I thought that when I started having kids. So my oldest will be 3 on Saturday, and then I have a 9-month-old. And I just thought, like, oh my gosh, like that's going to take all my, and I'm not going to. And what I found out is that I feel better at the things that I do now with all that additional responsibility, because there's motivation behind why you do it. But was there ever a moment in your guys' life where it's like, this takes all of me, and now you're taking, you demand over here a percentage of me? Was there a fear that maybe the job would decline?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you look at him; he's kicking as well as he's ever kicked.
That's what I mean.
Awesome.
I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I think there was probably some of that fear, a little bit. That it was like, okay, if I'm still. I think the hard part is as you get older, you're physically you can't do the things you once did. So you had to put the mental work in. So it was like, okay, I'm still doing. You have to do a little more, right? You got to work a little harder. You got to do a little more film study, and so mine was just like, listen, it's going to be, my priorities are my kids, my family, and then I'm going to put the extra time in at night, like later. So that was going to, you just have to find different sacrifices. Like I'm not going to sit and watch TV or watch a movie or watch a show. I'm going to watch film. And so, yeah, you do, because you have such, I had a lot of success early in my career. I felt like I was playing some of my best football later in my career. Maybe didn't transition to Super Bowls or whatever, but I felt like just the game felt easier as I got later on in my career. So, but there's always that fear that I think that you might sacrifice your play for your family and whatever. But at the end of the day, you just gotta go. You can't have that fear. You just gotta go out and do it, and just go out and be the best you can be. Put everything into it that you got. But that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I feel like mine's kind of the opposite. I feel like it kind of opens me up and frees me up a little bit more on the field because my entire identity isn't in the game anymore. Like the more I put my identity into football, the more I cared about every little step that I took towards kicking. Like if I missed a kick, I'm not going to be as good as I want to be now. Now, I mean, however I show up and play Sunday, I know like I still care about it. It's still, what I love doing, but I know that it's not my entire identity. So whether I make a kick, miss a kick, or in between, it's just I got to go home to a family who, is going to be there no matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah. So I feel like that frees me up to have more freedom on the field to be able to just like swing away without any care or worries because I know who I am regardless of the game.
Yeah, they're not going to love you less.
Yeah.
Like we talk about that. They're not going to care that you miss whatever. You're going to come home and he might joke with you.
Oh, he's going to be the first one.
Oh, you missed that. I didn't mean to. Oh,
Savannah won't say it. She'll wait for Channing to say it.
It's what Channing was just talking about. We're going to talk about that.
Channing, what were you saying? That's right. Yeah. That's good though, brother.
Yeah.
That's because I found that to be true. I didn't have that perspective until after I got there. Because I just feel I'm probably more talented than I believe I am. You know what I mean? You guys tell me that all the time. It's hard because I feel like there are people with talent and there are people who have to work really hard to be good. And what you realize is that like even people with talent have to work really hard to be good. Right. And so it's the work, to your point, it's the work that puts it in. And so I'm like, man, I'm not going to have enough time to put in the amount of work to be the standard of excellence I demand. And then you realize, really, that's probably what I was doing is like, oh, this is who I am. And then you find these identities, these titles of husband, a father. And you're like, oh, that's why I'm going to work. That's why I'm lacing up these boots 40 times. That's why I'm doing it. And that's good, man. Like I've always been a fan of yours because your game. This is the first time I got to meet you, but even just chopping it up here a little bit, man, I'm so much bigger of a fan of yours, dude.
Yeah,
I love the way you play the game, the way you carry yourself, brother. So
much more than football for me with you. I've known you for a long time now, but I think too, like for anyone that's watching doesn't know, we're talking about Channing. Obviously, Channing is not your biological son, but I just want to give you props and kudos because I think so many times you hear about a guy that meets a girl, they like the girl, and they finally have a kid, and there's like, I'm backing away. You embraced that, you took it head on, and you stepped up as a father figure for that young man, and I think that's one of the coolest things about you that you did is you rose to the challenge, rose to the occasion, and we all have we're all sitting here, we all have different stories of our parents and things like that, but what you did, I think, is really admirable and just have done a great job of being a father figure to him. And I know that we're all really proud of you for doing that and just showing the example of what a good godly man is supposed to be and do. And so that's probably I'm most proud of. You kicked a lot of dang good field goals and done a lot of good stuff on the football field. Won me a lot of games. I appreciate it. But that's the thing I'm probably most proud of you for, man, is just the honor that you show as a godly man. So
appreciate it.
It's cool to see.
It's my little mini me. He is a sports junkie. He wakes up Monday morning. Hey, can I scroll through your phone and look at all the games? I'm like, sure, here.
My man.
He wants to know every score to every game, who's good, who's bad. He's just a sports fanatic.
What's he want to play? Does he care? Does he play
like
all
sports-wise?
Yeah. Is he just...
we're gonna make him play. We played baseball last year. He's gonna play soccer, football, and probably baseball again this year.
Yeah,
at that age, you gotta keep him entertained too.
Play everything.
Is he old enough now to identify something like, oh, he's really gonna be a good baseball player or something? Like, are you identifying strengths in certain sports now, or is it just kind of like getting them to learn?
No way, not a 7 already. 6.
Yeah, 7 decent.
Just like he's an athlete.
He's
like, you can take a
good
run.
athlete. So we got to play him up at every sport. His age, he's running around way too heavy, too competitive. So we play him up. Kind of humble him a little bit at the same time.
Got to.
Yeah.
What does he know? I mean, obviously he knows you missed a kick. Like, does he truly know who you are and what you do?
He asked me, it's probably got to be a month or so. We're just sitting there and he looks at me and goes, "How do you make money? All you do is kick a football." And I was like, you couldn't have put that any simpler. Yeah. And so, I mean, there's just times he's like, all you do is kick. You don't want to play anything else. He's like, when are you going to make a tackle? I'm like, Channing, we'll see.
I don't have to
Yeah,
tackle.
he's like, we'll see.
If they keep paying me to kick this, I'll never make a tackle.
Exactly.
Right? That's so funny. That's like the only thing a kid could say.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so real
Kids
quick.
tell the truth no matter what.
Yeah, real quick. How you get paid? How you get paid? Kicking that football. Well, Channing, I kick it pretty good.
Yeah.
That's how I get paid. I kick it pretty
I
good.
don't mean to talk about myself,
That's so
but
funny,
I kick
dude.
it pretty good. So
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you, brother. Just coming down.
We know it's your day. It's your day to have some time with the wife, and you took some time to us.
Yeah. Thank you, Havana, for letting us borrow him.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me.
No, we appreciate you finally doing a show.
This wasn't as bad as I thought.
I told you. Listen, hey, I'm gonna say we're gonna get to the 2-minute drill.
We're
'cause you
bearable.
gotta do probably 2 minutes.
We're bearable.
That's what I finished.
Right, we're bearable.
But
One
when
of you are.
when I asked Bos to come on this show, he reminded me of my kids
Yeah.
riding a roller coaster.
Why is that?
Okay, because the anticipation was so much worse than the actual ride.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We just got back, as you know, we were out in Busch Gardens down in Virginia, and my daughter, the kids rode everyone that they were physically able to ride. Tall enough. Bodie was just not quite tall enough for a couple of them, right? Like there were a couple where his like head hit right at the thing, and I just felt like, no, he's down. I'm tall enough. I'm like, yeah, but if you just barely hit the height, that can't still be safe. Like I'm gonna make you sit this one out. But anyway, my daughter, whenever we got on a roller coaster, she's always like, "Dad, I'm sitting by you." Like it just like you're. I mean, what I'm supposed to like hold her like that? I was.
Dad, keep me safe.
Dad's here. I got you
For sure.
So we would ride rides, and we'd go up like how you at the beginning of the ride you're going to tick, 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 and you're going up and you're sitting back like this, and she would be like just like terrified. I'm like, hey, look, the stars are out. I said, oh, look how pretty it is over there. We're going up this ride, and I don't know what's about to happen. And she's just sitting there like this, just holding on, and she's like holding my hand and clenching as tight as she can, and then sure enough, like. 5 seconds, as soon as the drop or whatever happens right away, she's just like, arms up, going nuts. I'm like, Bos, that's what this show was like for Bos. He's like,
hesitant,
I gotta do the show. I don't know what to do. I don't like cameras. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not funny. I'm nothing.
If you know me, you know I do not like speaking.
Well,
and now look how great it is.
Dude, this was honestly, brother. If you would have told me that after I saw this, I would not have believed you.
No.
Articulate, well thought out, man. Everything you said.
Well, I feel that says a lot to you two, not me.
No, brother.
See this guy.
No, I mean this show's intimidating because I don't think we can get any more cameras. I mean, we have too many.
Yeah, that's why I try to tell him too. I'm like, it's not like there's someone behind each camera. It's not like there's 20 people down here.
No,
Just
man.
us.
I don't listen. I'll just for the sake of the people, man. I'd love to see you do more podcasts, brother. I think you are very
you did great.
insightful,
How
man.
long does this one take to get on? 2 years?
2 years? Yeah, there you go.
And,
a little wait list.
Yeah.
It's like trying to get a.
Just don't do Christians or Cams and just keep them mad. Let's keep see how mad they can get. Stay on this.
Putting it back.
We'll actually have you back. Once you do 2 of them, then we'll get you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
we do
it's like making a reservation at Nobu. We'll get it in now, right? And then in 2 years, we can
Get you back in.
Exactly.
Get you back in. I can't let you co-host because Pounds would probably beat you up because he thinks this show should be called the 53-7 show.
This is football with Marquise Pouncey, and I think Ben Roethlisberger's there too. That's what it's called. Like,
Pounds, we love you.
all right, here we go.
Okay, so this segment is the final segment, hence the 2-minute drill. And I can't think of anybody better to finish off the 2-minute drill than this guy. He's finished more of my 2-minute drills. So this is pretty
Before you
fitting.
get started, your fourth quarter comebacks.
Are all because of him.
How much
doesn't
of
get
that?
credit for
How many
that.
dinners have you got because of that
A lot of
stat?
him, a little bit of me.
Well, I told you, whenever we do the 2-minute drill with Gale, I always like, we need a field goal or a touchdown. Touchdown. Now let's do a field goal. I trust the ball.
Let's do a field. All right, here we go.
All right, so I got a bunch of, not a bunch. I have 2 minutes. I'm going to start my clock here. I'm going to ask you questions. See how many of these we can get through.
Okay.
I need rapid fire.
Okay.
But this is going to this is when you should get
make or
nervous.
break. Okay.
This is when you should get really nervous. Okay. Here we go. Start the clock. Okay. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Pie or cake?
Cake.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Ocean or a lake?
Lake.
Favorite sport to watch on TV?
Golf.
College football or pro football?
College.
Monday night, Sunday night, or Thursday night football?
Sunday night.
Car or a truck?
Truck.
Game-winning field goal or longest field goal in history?
Game winner.
Would you rather kick in the rain or the wind?
Rain.
Cheese pizza or pepperoni?
Cheese.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Do you call it pop or soda?
Soda.
What's harder, a win straight in or from the side?
Straight in.
Baked potato or mashed potato?
Mashed.
City guy or country guy?
City.
Chips Ahoy or Oreo?
Oreo.
Harder to recover an onside kick or kick a 65-yard field goal?
Onside kick.
Karaoke or Guitar Hero?
Guitar.
Hot wings or barbecue wings?
Hot wings.
Open end or closed end?
Close in.
For those of you that don't understand that question, open end or closed end at Acrisure Stadium. There's an open end and a closed end, and sometimes that open end it swirls a little bit on you.
It's
You
a
don't know
little
what's
funky
going on.
down there, yeah.
Getting that closed end, and it's just nice.
Or it's just consistent. It might be windy down there, but it's the same way the whole time.
Consistency.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised you want this head on wind over the side wind.
I thought you were saying,
Which one would you rather? You want that's what I'm saying. You want the head in wind.
yeah, why not?
Okay, I know. I just
I mean, I trust you.
side wind would be hard.
Well, side wind, it's
Have you
kind
ever-
of tricky because then if you play wind
And, stop
and then it
blowing.
don't take it,
So,
but then if you don't play wind and then it takes it, so it's a
have you ever aimed outside the
Absolutely.
uprights? You
yes,
have.
yes.
You hear that?
See,
So
this is
he
why I think
Don't
he's
aim.
better
Danny,
at golf.
don't listen to this.
Danny doesn't watch the show.
Just don't ever aim
Danny.
outside the field goal.
Danny
Like,
doesn't watch the show.
Danny's like, what?
30 to 40 mile an hour winds. I mean, like
You
that.
have to.
So-
That Vegas game, 5-degree weather,
Right.
40 mile an hour winds. I don't think I played a kick inside the pole.
What? Yeah.
And sometimes it took it too
Crazy.
much, and sometimes it
and
took
when
it
it
just
doesn't
right.
take it, and you're like,
Yeah.
so really,
What-
what are we doing?
Yeah.
why would they coach you not to do that regardless of conditions?
Because it doesn't seem logical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then
I
if you
get
hit
it,
just
but-
a true ball, it's
Yeah.
just out.
Because that's what Dave would say, right? Like rotation shouldn't have nothing should affect a ball that rotates perfectly.
I mean, the wind at some point is going to affect the ball.
Well, do they still chip the balls, or that was only for like a season or two?
Oh, they chipped them. Yeah.
Because wasn't that a big thing that people were missing? They're not going to mention his name, but certain
and then
kickers
the-
were talking about they were missing because the chip was in there.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's.
They were talking about it like it was.
I think Tucker the other week,
Oh,
you
mentioned
could
his name.
rattle the ball, and then
could
you
hear it?
heard the chip bouncing back and forth in it.
Really?
So the commentator's like, "Oh, he just doesn't like the ball or anything." It's like, no, they're chipped, and if that chip comes loose, then
hear
that
it.
could affect the rotation of the ball. I don't know what game that was.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All I
did not
know is
that.
I got a
They're
guy
chipped.
sitting next to me that's not making excuses.
Yeah. Wait.
And Bos. Bos isn't making excuses. I know. I've never heard. I've seen Bos look down at the turf sometimes like, what are we doing? But I've never heard this guy make an excuse. And I think that is something to be said.
Not
That-
saying anything about the turf.
No. But I'll say it for him. Sometimes the turf stinks.
Yeah, I can say it. No, I can't find me.
Nope.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Bos, for coming and being
Yeah.
a part of this.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate you making this special
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, that's how we sold it. Special. It makes sense, right? All right. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for listening. You guys made it this far. We appreciate you more than you know. Like I said throughout the podcast, we do live streams. We got a handful we're doing this season. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you are not already. Go ahead and follow at Football with Ben on Instagram as well. Stay up to date. We got a lot of really exciting things that we're doing. Very exciting things that we can't mention right now, but you will get. You will be the first people to know about the live stream, so you can tune in and watch the game along with Ben when we announce those. Other than that, Bos, appreciate you. Grateful for you, man.
Good luck this week.
Best
Rest of
luck
the
this
season.
week to you,
Thank you,
brother.
thank you.
And you guys, we'll see you next week.